time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey guys, welcome back and happy Wednesday. All right guys, so there's so much going on right now. I feel like this is going to be an insane week, but what week isn't at this point? If you're asking if I've had my four shots of espresso, yes I have. I've actually had 5, but I did eat this morning, so don't worry about it. Guys, if you're coming in right now, don't forget to smash that like button. This is a subscribers only live chat, so if you're not subscribed, get subscribed, and let's see who's in the room. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. Joe Mendoza, good morning. Annika, good morning. Krista Marie Miller, yes. Hi, guys. Sandra, Bonnie, good morning. Down with Jason's in here. I thought Jason was still sleeping, especially after last night. Fall asleep with Jason and wake up with Adam? Yes. Will we hear the tea about Jennie? Guys, okay, so I am going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Jennie. We'll get there, but I named this trailers only because this was the week of trailers. Not only did my exclusive trailer drop with Mary Cosby's mother, Rosie Cazares, and her stepfather, Mark Cazares, but the Real Housewives of Orange County midseason, season 16 trailer dropped, and Vanderpump Rules reunion. So there's a lot to talk about. But before we do, I do want to recognize something that was announced last night, and it is so heartbreaking. Andre Leon Talley passed away, and it actually is really sad because he was one of the creative directors at Vogue. This man, he is iconic. I know that I always say that I'm not big into fashion. I don't know much about fashion. I always wear all black everything because I don't have style at all. But I do have a fun story real quick to kick us off. When Jason and I were working at Barney's in Chelsea, when we lived in New York, they reopened the flagship store. Now, there were 2 locations, the Madison location and then the original location in Chelsea that started the whole thing. When we worked there, we saw everybody from Anna Wintour to Bethany Frankel, like people who are just huge fashion influences. And I know that you're going to say Bethany Frankel, fashion influence, but she shocked a lot. She was kind of her own little fashion influence. Obviously not an Andre Talley or an Anna Wintour. But my point is, Jason and I actually had the opportunity to see him in person. Did I get to engage in a conversation? No. But I just remember him walking in and being like, wow, I knew exactly who he was. He had such a presence, smiling. His smile was infectious, and everyone was just treating him like a king at Barney's. And I just thought, this is so amazing. And then I went home because I love the Devil Wears Prada. And I know the whole story is kind of loosely based off of Anna Wintour. So I went home and watched the movie again. And I was researching about Anna Wintour and Andre Leon Talley, and they had a little rift too. It's just a lot. But the point is, he did pass away. So I think that we should at least send our respects, pay our respects, and send our love to him and his family. Now, moving on, we're going to get back into some Bravo-related stuff. Of course, I said we're going to be talking about the trailers, but I do want to address one thing really quick. 130 in the room. Hi, good morning. Only 4 minutes in. Hi, guys. I do want to address one thing really quick. Oh, super sticker. Thank you. Sandra, thank you for the super sticker. RIP Andre Leon Talley and RIP Barney's. Yes, I agree. This interview is coming out today with Mary Cosby's parents. Now, there are other people who are trying to put out interviews, and there's, trying to kind of dismantle what we work so hard for. I've had some people who have called out my interview saying, that's not Mary Cosby's real parents. Adam, you got the wrong interview. Mary Cosby already went on an interview. It was not yesterday, but it was the day before. And she confirmed that is, in fact, her mom. She said her mom looked amazing. And that is not her biological father. That is her stepfather, Mark Cazares, for over 30 years. This interview is not and was not made to be a Mary bashing session. This interview was simply to get their side of the story, how they feel about certain situations regarding their family and their daughter, his stepdaughter. And this interview is to get their opinions. This interview was not to paint some sort of narrative or, paint even Mary. It wasn't made to paint Mary in a bad light. I hope you guys can see that when the interview comes out. And I've seen a few other comments from other family members, and I see where there are things, or people trying to kind of rip this apart before it even comes out. Go ahead. Just watch the interview. That's all I ask. If you haven't seen it, how are you going to try to rip it apart or talk ill of it? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I know as we grow, you're going to get people who are going to tear you down. That's life. It happens every single day. But we just have to remember to live in the positive and I guess be open-minded. When you see it, then come talk to me about it. So with that, since we're talking about Salt Lake City, I guess everyone wants to talk about Jennie Nguyen. Guys, this is kind of intense for a morning conversation, but Jennie Nguyen has found herself in some trouble. Let's see. Let's see what you guys are saying. Adam, people are also saying you're on the payroll. Huh? Whose payroll? That's cute. Adam, they're jealous. Adam, don't worry. Your work will speak for itself. You have so much integrity. You always do. Thank you, guys. Adam, you know you are on the truth when everyone tries to bash it before it is even aired. I completely agree with that. Now Mary's mom can never deny her and vice versa. They are twins and both sound and look alike. Honestly, when I first saw her, I was like, wow, completely taken aback. When I heard her talk, Rosie, Mary's mom, and I saw her in person, I felt like I was looking at Mary's twin and talking to Mary's twin. It was intense. Okay. They are just jelly, Adam. You guys are so supportive. Thank you. Hey, everyone. Adam, don't listen to the trolls. It's fine. Haters gonna hate, but I just love, love, love. Okay. Now, let's get into it. I'm going to share this situation that came out with Jennie Nguyen. If you guys haven't seen it, it's going wild right now. 200 people in the room. All right. I'm going to actually just share my screenshot from Pages. Here we go. All right, guys. So this is what's going on. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Jennie Nguyen is facing backlash over Facebook posts that were in ill taste. Now, as you guys can see, there's DJ Richie Sky right at the top. Shout out to DJ Richie. We always cover Salt Lake City with him on Mondays at 2 p.m. Love DJ Richie Sky. TV Deeds put this out here and said, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's Jennie Nguyen is facing backlash after racist posts were allegedly discovered on her personal Facebook page. Swipe to check out the post, but fair warning, they are disturbing and inappropriate to say the least. Now, this was actually gut-wrenching. I mean, looking at it, people are saying, I'm disgusted by this. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. Jennie Nguyen made this post, hundreds of blacks shot and many killed, including children, by other blacks every week. Over 1,000 officers violently injured, some permanently by rioters. Anarchists rioting in major cities every night, which has caused billions of dollars of destruction to private and public property. And you still think police officers are the problem. You are an idiot. Then she posted more, and all of these, of course, are surfacing. She made a comparison. And then she said, I'm sick of people saying cops need more training. You had 18 years to teach your kid it's wrong to loot, steal, building a blaze, block traffic, laser people's eyes, overturn cars, destroy buildings, and attack citizens. Who failed who? And then her last one was, if you follow the officer's orders, you won't get shot. Now, of course, there are a lot of people right now who are saying this is absolutely insensitive, and they are pissed at Jennie's posts. My thing is, I didn't come here to crucify Jennie at all or even go down that road. That's not my place to do on here. I'm looking at social media. I'm seeing how the Twitter world and the Bravo world, how everyone, even the fans, are reacting to this. I'm just curious how Bravo is going to react to this. Obviously, we know that there have been tweets in the past that have gotten other Bravo celebrities fired. There have been social media posts that have gotten Bravo celebrities fired. And there seems to be a no tolerance policy. But when it comes to Jennie's post, this is still fresh, brand new. And Bravo usually takes a minute to kind of address this and let us know, will this person continue on with the franchise? Will we keep them around, or will they let them go for their post? I do want to know in the live chat what you guys think. If Jennie Nguyen will continue to be filming Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. They did start filming this week. We had that confirmed by multiple sources, even Steve from Faces by Bravo on Instagram. I'm just taken aback at this point. I don't know how to even react. I woke up this morning, Jason showed me and he said, have you seen this? And Jason was like, this morning, wiping his eyes. He stayed up all night last night because he does his late night show. And then he reads comments. He sits on the phone with Josh after. So I woke him up at 6 o'clock this morning and I'm like, let's go for a walk. Let's get up. Let's do our thing. And his eyes were like half shut. And he's like, no, leave me alone. And then he checked his phone while I went to walk the dogs. And I came back and he was like bright-eyed, like, oh my gosh, Adam, have you seen this? This is so bad. And I was like, oh, what is going on? I mean, it never fails. In the Bravo world, I guess in any reality TV realm, because when you're bringing on people who are paid to give their opinions, and they sometimes do it so unapologetically that they either walk this line or cross over the line, I'm not surprised when we get things like this that surface, because this is the platform that they're kind of given. No, it's not to be, culturally inappropriate, but I think that some of these people, some of these reality TV stars feel like, okay, when I'm on the show, producers want me to say whatever I can to get a shock factor. And then sometimes I feel like they just don't realize, don't carry that into your social media and put it on the internet. It lives on the internet and it will live on TV forever. Let me see what you guys are saying. She posted that. Oh no. Okay, let's see what else. Oh my God. Bravo needs to take some responsibility. Krista Marie Miller said, I don't know what to say. Yeah, I don't know what to say either. Jennie needs to say something. I agree. Jennie does need to address her posts. Everyone should know better, period. Okay. Let's see what else. Knew that there was something about Jennie that rubbed me the wrong way. She's insensitive. Santivia said, not facts. That's her opinion, and many people do not share it. There are facts to dispute it. See, that's what I mean. When you're posting something like this, that's this controversial, if Jennie doesn't think that she's going to get some sort of backlash or, bad feedback, then welcome to reality TV, Jennie, and just welcome to life, because a lot of people, even though that might be your opinion, are not going to share that opinion. And now that you've put yourself on the map for everybody to criticize and have an opinion on your personal life and your views, that's exactly what's coming her way. So I do hope that she addresses it right away, but let's move on to something different. You guys can keep on in the chat about it if you like. I do want to drop a link to see if anybody wants to call in this morning, because we do have a long day. By the way, let me kind of walk you through the day really quick. Call-in link dropped. Boom. All right. I want to walk you through the day a little bit. We are doing Wake Up and Adam right now. Okay. We have 300 in the room. And then at 12 p.m. today, we are going live with Jason on Down with Jason to recap last night's finale of Vanderpump Rules. All right. After that, at 3:30 today, Tamra Judge from the Real Housewives of Orange County is joining us live to get us ready, get us excited for our 5 p.m. interview. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, I want to have a completely unfiltered conversation with Tamra, talking about her time on the show, her time after the show. Would she go back? What's she up to? Who's her favorite housewife? Who does she not like at all? Why did she start her podcast? I mean, I have so many questions. I've been trying to get Tamra on for so long, but I do know that she's been on the show for a long time. And as we try to get more interviews, it really is harder to get your OG, so to speak. I know Tamra wasn't an OG of the OC, but she was on for long enough to where they have done so much press that they're very careful about whose platforms they go on. So it is an honor when I can get someone as big as Tamra or like a Kathy Hilton. I would freak out to get a Nene Leakes or a Bethany Frankel just because I'm a huge fan, but I know that I still have to grow my channel. Speaking of growing my channel, guys, we're almost at 100,000 subscribers. That means that this white shelf is going up right here and we're putting up our silver plaque. I cannot wait. So I don't know when that's going to be, but definitely we're going to celebrate on here. Anyways, getting back to today's schedule, we have the 3:30 with Tamra, and then 5 p.m. tonight, Eastern, our interview with Mary Cosby's mother and her stepfather, listening to their side of the story. That's dropping. And then right after that, we're going to go live just to hear your opinions, to let you ask questions about the interview, about maybe my experience sitting down. If you guys are interested in that, if you're not interested, then we'll cut the live short. It's not a big deal. What else? I feel like there was one more thing that was coming up tonight. Oh, I don't know. I feel like I can't keep up at this point, but there's a lot of exciting things. Thank God I have Jason, because if I didn't have Jason organizing everything, I would freak out. I was even yesterday. Okay, I'm going to tell a story really quick, and Jason's in the live chat. He's probably going to make so much fun of me. Adam, you rock. You'll have Andy's job soon. I don't want Andy's job. I love Andy on Bravo. Jennie's right in what she said. It will happen, Adam. Let's see. Okay, so excited for Tamra. I was disappointed that Tamra wasn't invited this season. Heather shows that the veterans know how to play the reality TV game much better than the newbies. Love from Canada, my daily gossip. You're the best, Adam. I can't believe OC is halfway over and Adam and Jason are the dream team. Oh, Jason said, oh, Lord. Okay, guys, 315 in the room. It's story time. So I am the worst with social media. I really am. And I'm not the only one. If you guys saw The Big Shot with Bethany Frankel on HBO, she has a huge team working for her. She is so brilliant and business savvy. And she kept saying, what do I do with the phone, the social media? How do I don't know what to do. I hate social media. I just want to pay someone to do it for me. I don't have the Skinny Girl brand empire to pay somebody to do social media for me. So I try my best to do it myself. And then usually I'll have like a mess up where I spell something wrong because I'm in a rush, or I just like keep it like I'm texting like a 15-year-old. And Jason calls me out on it, but it's good because it keeps it professional. And he was saying to me, Adam, did you post on Twitter? Yes, Jason, I posted on Twitter. Where is it? Oh no, I didn't click send. Or Adam, why do you follow, all of these extra people on Instagram? Who are these people? And I'm like, I have no idea. He said, well, you followed them. I'm like, Jason, I don't know how this works. And he's like, okay, you're worse than my grandmother. And I kind of am. I'm the worst millennial. Jason, I love you. Thank you so much. I appreciate the hell out of you. Without him, I don't know what I would do, really. Can't wait for Mary's mom, then the live. Oh my God. Happy hour at 5. I would love Adam to have a morning show on Bravo TV around the same time as the Today Show or Live with Kelly. Yes, it can all be consuming. All right. Let's see. Adam will have a mainstream show. He's that good. Hey guys, you guys are good for the ego. Hey, not good for the ego. What do you say? I don't know. Like good for the soul. Good for the soul to wake up to. You're welcome. Or you're worse than my grandmother. And Down with Jason said, it's literally like showing my grandmother how to use phone or social, etc. Okay, back off of me. I never said I was great at social media. I own it, just like Lisa Rinna says. So back up, okay? All right, let's keep it going. I want to talk about some of these trailers because, again, that's what I titled this. Since we're going to be talking about Vanderpump Rules, the finale today on Down with Jason at 12, I'm not going to cover the finale, but I do want to talk about this explosive trailer that came out. Look at the faces. Scheana's shocked. We have Lala Kent, who's crying over her relationship. We have a situation where Raquel is giving back her ring to James. I mean, it's a lot. But if you guys didn't see the trailer, you definitely need to go check it out. There was a lot going on. I mean, from Lisa Vanderpump and Brock shading Randall and Lala, and Ariana lashes out at Katie. I didn't know why, especially when they're opening a sandwich shop. Plus, Raquel returned the ring to James. Now, again, we're talking about the finale today, but if you saw in last night's episode, Raquel is trying to battle her fear of public speaking. I completely know where she's coming from. When I was in college, I would have to get up because I went to school for communications, and when I would go up in front of the class, we would have to read our reports, and I would sit there like, and this said, and I would look over and kind of look at the eyes staring at me, and I would panic. I would freak out like I couldn't do it. And I can understand Raquel's place. And watching her on the show, though, and watching James feed her lines, it was a little sad and kind of pre-produced. But Raquel, I will never, ever go after you on my platform, only because you are so sweet, and I'm wishing you the best. And James needs a lot of self-work. I feel like I can say that because I think we all need some self-work to some capacity, in some capacity. But for James, the way he's freaking out, getting upset this season, has no control over his emotions. I think we can all relate to that in one way or another. But it is hard to watch. For us, most of us, fortunately, we don't have to rewatch ourselves having these crazy moments. Maybe sometimes we might have our friends. Like I had a friend yesterday who was telling me a story about, do you remember that time you and I did this and you reacted like this? And I'm not giving you guys that story, but I was like, okay, we don't talk about that. But thank God I don't have to sit there and watch it on TV. It's not replaying in my face for me to sit there and get scrutinized by the whole world because you have one moment where you get extremely upset and you say things to someone, that you don't mean. I didn't say anything I didn't mean, but I get upset. I have emotions too. We all do. Now, in the trailer, I was shocked to see Lala Kent, Tom Shorts, and Katie Maloney were not actually at the reunion. They had to show up virtually, and I'm sure it was probably due to the pandemic and testing. And I hate when we get the virtual reunions or somebody showing up virtually, just like when we got Brandy on the Real Housewives of Dallas reunion, because it doesn't have the same effect and they can't really give us the same energy. But Lala did open up about her emotions, and she said, this man, Randall Emmett, I feel like you guys should have let me know that he was cheating, and nobody came to me and said anything. I don't really know if that's anybody's position. And to be fair, Lala, every time somebody tried to talk to you about your man at the time, you would rip their heads off. So I couldn't imagine being the one coming to you and saying, hey, Randall's out here in these streets running amok. I don't think Lala would have taken that very well. But I was shocked, if you guys caught the clip, the trailer for the reunion, when Lisa Vanderpump says, you lose him how you get him. And I'm like, ah! And then Brock Davies, Scheana's fiance, says, well, maybe you didn't notice that he was cheating because you were too busy flying on private jets with Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox. And I'm like, you guys are going in on this poor girl, and she just had a baby. But Lala also goes in on everybody else, so it looks like it's a no-holds-barred conversation, and she is free game. Now, for Raquel and James, you could see where Andy is starting to get the vibe that something is not right. He said something's amiss, something's afoot, okay? Something is happening here, and I don't know what's going on. And they're looking at each other very uncomfortably, and we found out that Raquel and James decided to break up before the reunion actually filmed, before they filmed the reunion. When they did, they made the joint decision to not share it on the reunion. However, the tension was so high that you could probably cut it with a knife, and Raquel made, the choice to say, I was having nightmares about getting married. She opened up about her feelings, was brutally honest, and she said, you know what? Actually, do you want the ring back now? I want to give it to you back now. Takes off the ring and hands it to James. Charlie, Scheana, everybody's like, no, Raquel, keep the ring. And I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, girl, you have to find a new apartment. You have to find somewhere to live in LA. You're on your own. You're not splitting the bills with him anymore. Keep the ring and pawn that. What kind of, everyone keeps the ring and pawns it, don't you? I wouldn't give the ring back. Something's afoot. Good musical too. LOL. Keep the ring, girl. Yes. If Jason ever leaves me, I'm keeping my ring. I might only get like $500 out of it, but it's simple. I'm still keeping it. Okay. Raquel dodged a bullet with James' mother. She's scary island scary. Ooh. Lala, how did you not think he was going to cheat? You lose him the way you got him, girl. Oh, that's what Lisa Vanderpump said too on the reunion trailer. Lala is an idiot. She's not interesting. That's a little harsh. Oh my God. I love Lisa's comment. What else are you guys saying? No way. It's good. She gave it back. I wouldn't give it back. Guys, in the live chat, go ahead and comment. Would you give the ring back to James, or do you keep it, pawn it, and try to figure out how you move on with your life? Because if I just gave you X amount of years of my life and I'm wearing what James calls a $100,000 ring, which I'm not believing that because it came from his own jeweler and then put into a custom Tiffany's box and it wasn't from Tiffany's. Questionable. Especially after hearing the Randall situation. Lala Kent thought she was wearing a 6-figure ring on her hand, and she was like, oh my gosh, it's definitely 6 figures. Look at this thing. Look at the way it shines. It wasn't. It was actually worth, from what we hear, less than $20,000. It was a diamond that had a lot of spots and discoloration in it, and Randall actually had to fly back and forth to meet the jeweler to have the diamond cleared up throughout I don't know what the process is, but they cleaned it up to, I guess, change the clarity and make it a brighter diamond. And they had to do it 4 different times. So I think what happened is they took a $20,000 diamond, probably spent a $10,000 process, maybe gave her a $30,000 diamond and said, hey, look, it's a 6-figure diamond. Well, if Randall's saying that to Lala and she found out hers wasn't worth 6 figures, I have a feeling that maybe Raquel's wasn't either. Just saying. Legally, you have to give the ring back. I don't know if that's true. Give it back, bad juju. Keep the ring. Give it back. I'm mad for her about the ring. Okay, maybe she gave the ring back so James knows there's no chance of reconciliation. But yeah, I would pawn it. Give the ring back, keep the diamond. Yes, give the ring back, keep the diamond. All right, if you break it off, you've got to give the ring back. He put her through hell. Raquel can keep it. Okay, from experience, I kept mine and sold it. Legally, you have to give back the ring. I didn't know that. I always come from the camp of give the ring back, but as I'm older, I don't know. It depends. No, you don't. It's a gift. That's not true. I would give it back. All right. There's a lot of opinions in here. Okay. So again, we'll jump into this more. It seems like Jason has opinions of his own. I thought he was going back to sleep, but I guess Starbucks is starting to kick in for him because I see Jason very active in the live chat. Now, let's move on and talk about our next trailer. And no, I'm not talking about Mary Cosby's parents because that's coming at 5 p.m. the full interview. Get ready for that. We're going to talk about the Real Housewives of Orange County because they are back with the mid-season trailer, which I'm really shocked about. How is it mid-season already? I feel like we were just talking about the premiere and getting Fancy Pants back and what did we think about it? Is it going to be good this season? Last season, the ratings were terrible, and now they're already dropping the mid-season trailer. When I saw that yesterday, I just thought in my head, I know that I missed my dad's birthday on accident. And, I just remembered the other day that it was Pops' birthday and things are flashing by and my parents are calling me saying, hey, we're coming in town. We planned this like months ago. Everything is happening so fast that I feel like time is just escaping me, which is kind of sad because I feel like I'm going to wake up and I'll be like 40 years old and not remember everything that happened. That's sad. But when I saw that this trailer dropped, I couldn't believe that we're already there. In this trailer, you see Heather Dubrow telling Noella Bergner, and look at Dr. Jen Armstrong in the back, laughing because she loves a little bit of messiness, you can tell. She's telling Noella that she is not a nice girl and she is thirsty. Noella said, I'm surprised you even know what thirsty is. But Noella had a breakdown of her own. Now, Twitter, social media, everyone was running rampant with why Noella was freaking out in this trailer. People were saying she's off her meds, what's going on? And I think that's so aggressive. You don't know what medication she takes, if she takes any medication at all. Unless there was something on the show that I didn't hear. I think that's kind of wild to run with, but okay, we'll let you do your thing. And it looks like Noella and Shannon are continuing a good, healthy friendship. Shannon Storms Bedore. I know that we have this live coming up today with Tamra Judge. I really want to ask her, if you came back to the show, how would you treat Shannon? Would you read her up and down for filth? Or do you forgive her at this point for dropping your friendship after she no longer needed you? I think that's a fair question. And in the meantime, Shannon doesn't really need Tamra. She has Noella. They're drinking buddies. They do good together. It seems like the only person Shannon's on the outs with in this trailer is Gina K. Because Heather Dubrow did say in the mid-season trailer, I made amends with Shannon, but that doesn't mean that I necessarily trust Shannon. Now, one thing that irks me about this trailer, and it's not any of the women, it's just one person's name. And it doesn't irk me to like the core where it's like, oh, this is the worst. It's like, why? I don't understand. Everybody has their own prerogative. They can do whatever they want. But Dr. Nicole, no, she's no doctor. She's just suing them. Dr. Jen Armstrong is talking in this trailer about how she is unhappy in her marriage and she can't do this anymore. She was asking her husband to kiss her at the table and she said, kiss me like, like you love me, like I'm a married woman. Kiss me like that. And he's like, okay. And then the next day he packed his bags and left. His name's Ryan, R-Y-N-E. His name was previously Ryan and he changed it just to make it a little bit more difficult for us. But coming from a guy who does carpool with no shirt and walks through life with no shirt, and probably has more shirts than all of us combined, I mean, it's not his only questionable act, I guess. All right. Annika, hi. Hope you're doing good this morning. Thank you for supporting Adam as a mod to make sure we have an even greater live chat morning experience. Yes, I agree. I can't bring that one up. I took my old wedding set and traded them for diamond earrings. I traded up jewelry and men. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Carpool with no shirt. Her husband is seeing someone else. Why are you saying that? Unless we know something or you know something that I don't know. Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to go ahead and bring up a few callers. But before I bring up the callers, I had one more thing that I wanted to address with you guys. Oh, that's what it was. Today at 5 p.m. when we're doing the premiere for the Mary Cosby interview, guys, we have almost 450 in the room. I did want to ask everyone who is a mod, I'm going to have to kind of take control over the live chat tonight because it's going to be intense. the Fallon Gobadia interview was off the charts. I mean, we could not keep up with it. It was just flying through pages. I have a feeling tonight is going to be exactly the same. So if you guys are a mod and you have time, we would love your help. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be insane, a great time, but an intense time. We'll see. But I do appreciate everyone who is a mod that can help. Let's go ahead and bring up our first caller and see what she has to say. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. I'm so excited that I finally made a live.
Hey, welcome in.
I'm always missing them, but I was not surprised that Ryan and Dr. Jen didn't because from the beginning she made several comments kind of, I think, sounded like she had to do a lot of work because the ex-boyfriend or whatever was suing them. Right. But I think she got frustrated after a while that he's sitting around without a shirt, hanging out at the beach. And yes. And then even their Brussels sprout dinner, when she's talking about how she's stressed and wants to make sure she's giving enough attention to the kids, and he's eating and she's like, can you look at me and pay attention? He's like, but these Brussels sprouts. And she laughed, but I was like, if my man was not paying attention to me stressing about our children, so I'm not 100% surprised by that.
I'm not surprised. It does seem like there's a little bit of a power struggle here too. Like she did mention on the show, at some points it was hard for her to come home and not fight with Ryan because he was staying at home and she was the breadwinner. And I feel like, isn't it money? It's money, cheating, and one other thing that they're like the main causes of breakups in relationships. But for him, he gets to stay at home, be a stay-at-home dad, and then when he's not, he's traveling and going to these lavish, I forgot what he does exactly, but he goes to all of these different locations, some of them really tropical, and I think he helps set people up on these amazing vacations. It doesn't sound like the worst job in the world.
Yeah, no, it seems like he has it pretty plush, and I think Noella makes for good TV. She's a hot mess and stirs up some crazy drama over. I've never understood anybody that would get upset about being, tagged in a
post.
In a post or whatever. So, but I have I have liked Emily and Gina from the beginning. I just liked their friendship, and they were kind of like the more normal folks, when some of the others would make me a little insane. And so it's been nice to see them grow and kind of, I feel like the first year or two, a lot of times the housewives have to find their footing.
Right.
And they either do or it's an epic fail. So.
Well, and for Noella too. Noella, did you see last week's episode or this past week's episode where Noella shows up to Heather's house? And she said she's a true narcissist. And she said, of course you invite me over at a time where you're working on an infomercial. Heather Dubrow kind of debunked this whole thing that it was set up. And she came out with her own receipts and text messages saying, listen, you should come over to my house. I would love to talk to you. I am going to be filming for HQ and, whatever. And she's like, I'm going to be doing some work. It's like an infomercial thing, but please come over and we'll make some time. And as soon as I saw the text messages, Tamra Judge came out and commented on it, Emily Simpson, Gina K, and even Tamra said, when you act like this on the show, you don't last very long. And for Noella, I can see where she could potentially have the longevity, but you can't also just come into the show and try biting off every single person's head or going up against everyone because you think conflict is going to keep you around. Because if the women don't want to film with you, just like Brandi Glanville, she brought a lot of conflict, but they will kick you out.
Yes, and she's really only aligned herself with one person.
Right.
As far as her immediately siding with 9 Lemons in a Bowl, I'm blanking on the name.
Scheana Bedore.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good old Shannon. Where are you, Shannon?
I haven't had enough espresso yet.
There's 9 lemons in a bowl.
Thank you. But yeah, it seems like she immediately sided with her and was, like, yeah, you're right for that. And then also she's easily, easily been kind of caught in, I hate to say a lie, but yeah, I mean, I guess maybe it's from the South. I don't ever want to call anybody a liar. Everything needs to be nice. But whenever she was like, no, I was standing there and you were, I heard you push, or first of all, she was like, you pushed somebody against the wall. And then she was like, oh, I heard you. And then in her confessional, she was like, well, somebody told me, or something like that. Like, if you listen to each of her, each of the pieces, it's like, well, did you hear it? Did you see it? Or did somebody tell you? Because
those are 3 totally different things.
Yeah, those are, it doesn't all line up. So
and then after Heather and guys, I see you also down in the call list. I promise I'll bring everybody up. After Heather, addressed this with the text messages, and I'm not calling Noella or anyone a liar. I'm just telling you exactly what came out. Noella actually went on and kind of came back. Of course she is, or she would, because they do back and forth on social media all the time. And she said, hold on, wait a minute. If that's the text messages, let's address me sitting out in the parking lot or in your driveway for about 45 minutes, asking production if I could use the bathroom. And then they had to take 15 minutes to get permission just for me to use the bathroom. And all of this time I could have been spending with my kids, but you left me out there for about an hour. And it's like, okay, so now it kind of seems like you got caught with the text message thing. So let's just kind of see if we can dig our way out of it by using this. You didn't let me in to use the bathroom. It feels like a little bit like we're reaching here.
Yes, definitely. And Heather's house seems so big. I'm sure she didn't care about somebody going to the bathroom in, the front of the mall of the house. Yeah, exactly. She wouldn't know. I feel like some stuff.
To the bathroom in her house, I don't think she would know if there was a family of 6 living in that house.
You know what? We should try to go camp out there and see like if we can hide and like.
Great. I could see that already. Sarah, Cat Mom, and Up and Adam.
Tossed out of
tossed out of the DeBro mansion for trying to be squatters. No,
yeah,
I don't know about that.
But we'll smuggle out some champs for Jason. Oh, but we can't call it champs.
Can we please just have a bottle of Vouv, please? She's like, no. I'm like, too late. Press for champagne. Okay. All right, Sarah.
Well, I know you probably have other callers, so
yeah. Well, Sarah, I hope you're around today. I know that you caught the live, and thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have the best day. We are going live today after this at 12 to talk Vanderpump Rules on Down with Jason. Then 3:30, Tamara Judge from OC is joining us. And then at 5, the interview drops. So I hope you're around, and I would love to hear your feedback.
Okay, I will. I definitely catch up like at night if I haven't seen your shows. I just go through and watch all of your pre-records. Okay. So never fear. I don't miss anything that you put out. But I hope to be free most of today. So y'all may be sick of me. But
no, we'll never get sick of you. If anything, we'll kick Jason out. I'm just kidding.
No, all right. I love you two together.
I hope you have a beautiful Wednesday.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Bye. All right. Jason said 450 watching, only 200 likes. Hit that like button and show some support. Yes, I agree. Not noticing a family of 6. Hit that like button. Heather is such a pretentious snob. She makes Shannon likable. Okay. All right. So I'm going to bring up some more callers, guys. You don't have to just stick on OC. We have Vanderpump Rules. I don't want to really touch too much on the finale again, because we will be back to talk about that. But if you want to talk about the reunion trailer, I'm more than happy to talk about that. We can talk about Orange County. We can talk about the interview that's coming tonight. And in the live chat, okay, I want you guys to go ahead and comment. If you guys have a question for Tamara, I believe Jason's still in the live chat. Maybe he can even snag them for me. Something that maybe I wouldn't think of, or it's last minute and there's a lot going on today. Trust me. Go ahead and post it with a Q and say question, whatever, so we know that it's for Tamara. And if it's reasonable, then I'll ask. It can't be something like, I can't put her on the spot and roast her. That's not what I'm doing. So, okay. Jason said, got it. Okay. Good morning, Shannon Benton. All right. Let's bring up Krista Marie. Hi, Krista.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning. I have my binder here. So did you post everything on the community tab, like what you're doing, everything's going on today? Because like Jason, I also can't follow directions, so I have to write this all down. So if I go in your community tab, am I going to be able to see everything going on today?
Yes, definitely. We all.
Adam, I feel your pain because I've sent Jason some very stupid Canva questions, and like between you and me, I was probably high when I sent them. So tell on me, not tell him, but. I end up figuring it out, but I feel your pain because I know he's just rolling his eyes like we'll just skip that because it was like the basics, Adam, like in the very beginning. And my first rough draft
earlier.
I get a message. Like,
he's always teaching me new stuff. He's always like, Jason is like, this is not how you do this, or if you just press this key and like this key, like Command V or Command C, he's like, it copies paste, makes your life way easier. And I'm like, for me, I think I'm living with the wizard and waking up next to him every morning because he's making my life better. But
Adam, I get a message and he's like, few things. I was like, oh man, it's okay. But no, but like it was my rough draft and I figured out what I did wrong, but I feel your pain on that one. But we love Jason. Like we love Jason. You wouldn't know what to do without him. Okay. These trailers, yours was obviously the best one dropped this week. So I'm going to give you that. I have a question for Tamara. Can I say it out loud? It's not bad, I promise.
Yeah.
Okay, so listening to her podcast, when she had Vicky on, just can you clarify, ask her, who was she supposed to do the podcast with first, Vicky or Fetch? Because Vicky Teddy. Because Vicky swears it's her, and she seems very upset about it, and Tamara's trying to backtrack and say that it was supposed to be with Teddy first. So
why do you call her Fetch?
Fetch.
Because you gotta watch me trying to make Teddy happen.
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody tries to make Teddy happen, and I feel like that's what Tamara's doing. So I want to clarify that it was Vicky. I think that Vicky should be her person,
her co-host.
It should be T and a V in a pod or something, whatever.
T and a V in a pod.
Yeah.
Or T and a V off TV.
That would be so good. There you go. Oh, everybody, you guys write that down. Me and Adam came up with that. So when it happens, when it happens.
I have a question for Tamara. Has her relationship gotten better with her daughter? I think that we've seen Tamara very emotional about that on the show because that's getting into family stuff. I want to keep it more about like housewives and stuff. And I'm sure she's in a good place with her. I would imagine that I've heard that she's in a great place with her daughter. So
I just feel like they're passing her on. Like everybody's trying to make, like Kyle couldn't make it happen. Somebody else couldn't make it happen. Now Vicky's even trying to basically say that too. So just ask her to clarify that.
Okay.
That and what else? Oh, the Vanderpump trailer. Like, okay. I don't know if you call what James says, right? So, all right, first off, if we don't get another season of Vanderpump, I'm going to have to spend the next 3 years convincing that broken clown that the show is not canceled because he was not on it. Do you realize what's going to happen if that one right there?
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to have to spend the next 3 years in therapy trying to convince this dude that this show did not get canceled because he wasn't on it. You know that's what's going to happen, right?
He's going to be like, I thought I blocked you. And yes, it was.
He hasn't caught on yet, so
he has the ego. He would probably think that.
No, he already thinks it. I promise you. He already thinks it. I'm in his head. He doesn't know that. He already thinks it, okay? And I'm going to eat crow if Fetch does happen. And I will give her that. If it does happen, then I'm going to say, you know what? You did your job. Like, you got her back on. And then everybody's going to flip out because I'm watching what people are saying. And I'm telling you, nobody wants her to go back on the show. Nobody says she's a bad person. It's just, she doesn't seem like she's not the housewives that we need on Beverly Hills. She's just not.
Right.
Or OC.
And I always say that. I've said that about multiple housewives. Like,
I'm getting confused.
I think Tamara, I don't know, like, oh, that's why. Okay. Yesterday I sat by the pool for a second and then we took the dog to the beach and I think I got a little sun and my face is itchy. So I keep having to pat it. And I'm like,
I was going to say, I was going to ask you if you had a fever, but I forget that it's like 70 degrees down there. And guess what? My ocean doesn't go above 68. So I don't want to hear it.
Oh my gosh. We keep it at 70 in our place, but I'm missing Salt Lake City cold already. I never thought I would like Salt Lake City as far as like, I came back and I said to Jason, I think I want to move to Salt Lake. And Jason's like packing the bags like, okay, time to go. And I'm
I like having all 4 seasons. I am a beach person. Like it is very desolate around here when it's all season. But I do like having a few snowstorms. I need a few snowstorms. So I kind of have to stay up here. But like, I wouldn't mind, like, I saw what it looks like when you walk out of your place. Oh my God. I was like, that's where you guys live. That's what it looks like. Not only the Christmas picture, but the picture where it looks like he's like home. I'm like, oh, really?
Oh, no, it is. I mean, Palm Beach is really beautiful. You know, it has its perks. Right now, it's a pain in the ass. I'm not going to lie. And if you guys are snowbirds, don't like crucify me for this. But down in Florida, we have seasons, and I'm sure not seasons like 4 seasons, but it's called season. So around this time, we get everyone who comes from New York and up north, and our traffic goes from like 0 to 150. Nobody down here knows how to drive, which is bad for me because I don't know how to drive. I'm the worst driver, so it just gives me anxiety. And everything is packed. It's a line to get into every restaurant. Our beaches are packed. Yep. It's just nuts. So when it's summer in Palm Beach, I'm in heaven. When it's winter, I'm like,
I know. I go through them stages too because I live like at the show. When it's the summertime, we get everybody, and then there's nobody, and there's like people getting run over, and there's a lot of crime and stuff like that. But I need to be, like I said before, I feel landlocked if I'm not on
Jason just said I have to live near the water, but I love Salt Lake. Too. Doesn't he realize that in Salt Lake you can live by the water, Jay?
I was just gonna say that I can have a lake. If I like Erie Lake where my dad grew up, that looks like a beach. So I guarantee the lakes over there probably look like that too. Am I wrong that there's no lake in Salt Lake? Is that not why it's called Salt Lake?
No, there is a lake in Salt Lake. Remember, because they threatened to drown Whitney in the lake.
Yeah. Wait. Well, all right. Well, okay. Forget I said that because I don't know my geography. But like, if there's a lake over there, I get it. Like, it looks like the beach. It does. Like Erie Lake, Michigan Lake, they look like the beach, and they have like the touristy like look to it too.
I love how Jason too says you have to make reservations at restaurants again. First world problems.
I was gonna say that's an American problem.
Salt Lake is pretty to look at, but not for swimming. Okay.
Oh, so there is a lake there?
Yes, there's definitely a lake there. There's definitely a lake there. Actually, when I saw it, it was so beautiful because the lake is surrounded. You can see the mountains in the back with the snow caps. And when I was on my way back from my interview with Mary's parents, I got a car because I'm not driving, obviously, and I didn't know if the roads were going to be icy. Like I wouldn't have made it back. I do not need to be behind a wheel, so I Ubered everywhere. And when I was Ubering back, there was a herd running next to us off the mountain. And I was like, are those deer? Are those cows? And the Uber driver said, where are you from? He said, those are the mountain antelope. I said, that's an antelope? I didn't even know we have antelope.
I get excited when I see deer still.
I mean, I love deer. Like I get excited unless it's like the only thing that I don't like as far as animals are sharks and alligators. And it's just because I'm terrified. But everything else, like I'm the guy who sees like, if I were out camping and I saw a bear, I'd be like, oh,
I'm going to pet him. Where's his babies? Yeah. I'm like, I swear to God, like I'm like the dark Snow White because like I have that thin veil. So like when I'm outside, like plants and animals kind of like follow me, like birds will start, I swear. And I'm like, man, people are watching me. I'm like walking a Wawa and I got like birds behind me and shit. I'm like, it's so weird. It's so weird. Like when I'm at the shore, all the animals will swim up. It's weird. Yeah.
See, every time Jason and I go in the water and we're swimming, it's like in the summer when it's super warm and you can see, the water's
like
not clear,
you guys can like snorkel and stuff.
Yeah, and I always say to Jason, like, why won't a pod of dolphins just like come up and swim and let you like grab onto their little fin and just ride them? He's like, you're not the Little Mermaid.
Adam, they do it here. The dolphins in Cape May will swim. They're within 2 feet of me. I promise you. If we weren't out that far, we could probably grab onto them. They are so friendly around here. It's the craziest thing. I don't know if Philly Diva's in the room, but she can vouch if she's been to Jersey Shore that I probably even have videos on my Instagram of it because we see them every once in a while, especially going through the intercoastal, like next to the boats. They have fun, and a lot of the boats are fishing boats, so they'll come up and they'll take from the boats, and they're funny that way. But most of the time here, we see like. It's just a lot of sharks. We see hammerhead sharks, nurse sharks, bull sharks. I have a video. I have to share it with you guys. Maybe I'll do it on tomorrow's live. But
we took a boat out one day, and it was my uncle's boat. We went out on the boat, and the water was so crystal clear. We went out to this island in Palm Beach. It's called Peanut Island, and there's a restaurant, and you just dock your boat. And I get off, and I like tie it up like I'm on below deck because I took it in, and I'm tying up the boat. And my uncle says, "I bet you won't jump in the water." And I was like, "I'll jump in it. That's so clear." And then he's like, "I'll give you $50 if you jump in." And I looked down and I was like, "How deep do you think it?" And I see an 8 to 10 foot bull shark swim right under the boat. I was like, "I'm not jumping in."
Oh my God. And you're like 6'5", right? So I can't, and like,
I'm 6'5". I'm like barely 6 foot.
Oh, I thought you were taller. I don't know. I thought you were taller, but like, I'm just imagining that's like 3-4 feet taller than you would be. Oh my God.
No, oh my gosh. It was terrible. Jason looked at me and he's like, "Go ahead." I'm like, "Do you have a life insurance policy on me that I don't know about?" I'm not jumping
right?
on that.
When everything slows down, we're going to have to talk about why there's no. All right. There's no wedding yet. But anyway.
Said, haha, yep, my mom and stepdad are snowbirds in Florida right now. Sorry, LOL. No, Shan, we want everybody. It helps the economy down here, but the reservations, that's
just a lot. It's a lot.
Down when Jason said Adam knows how to tie quick, could show some of those deckhands how to do it. That's true.
That's awesome. True.
And then Joe Mendoza, this is a great question too. How does production do background checks on potential housewives cast? Do they need to have an unsavory background check to qualify? Okay.
I mean, what he's going to run Snooki. I mean, he says Snooki would be a bad idea. He might as well say I'm a bad idea. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't have a criminal background. But
his situation is with Snooki. Like, why?
No, I just think. All right, think about it.
Okay.
Now she's definitely like I get where his vision is. It's not the right vision.
Right.
But for the way he says it, it's offensive.
So but he just said, didn't he just say it's like he just kind of cut it as it's not going to happen. Stop trying to make it happen. But he didn't really give a reason, right?
I don't think she did anything. I just think he just doesn't see it working. I don't know. I really just think he doesn't see the vision in it.
I mean, I can totally understand.
He's not giving her a chance, but I don't think he's cutting it off like that she did anything wrong. She could probably clarify it a little bit better.
But she did also say that she's no longer welcome back to Watch What Happens Live. So there has to be something like, did she show up? Because Snooki she used to be. She's a mom now, but maybe she partied a little bit too much.
Worse. She's not done anything worse than he has done or anybody else that he casts on his shows. So
to be fair, I don't know. Since we were talking about Vanderpump Rules, Krista, by the way, guys, almost 500 in the room. Smash that like button, show some love. Do you remember when James and Lala went on when they were like fresh onto the show and they kept dropping the F-bomb and they kept cussing? And Andy was like, "Stop cussing."
Yes.
And they're like, "Oh, and
it was like, every 5 seconds.
Again. It was over and over, and they got kicked off of the show. Not off of Vanderpump Rules, but off of Watch What Happens Live. They were told, "We're not inviting you back." But finally, they apologized. And I think Lisa probably had something to do with bringing them back on to Watch What Happens Live to promote the show. But yeah, I mean, because I think like the way he says it, it's pissing a lot of people off. And like, I mean, not even just her. It's just, he needs just to clarify it a little bit because he doesn't want people to dig around and talk about his business and what he does on or off camera. One person said one comedian says one thing about him, and now he gets messed up on New Year's Eve, and they're like, "See, she was right. He's a this, he's a that." Right.
So listen, he doesn't do the best background checks. I get it, but
I feel like even
I see both sides of it.
People run wild too. People run wild. They say whatever they want. Like I feel like even after this interview drops tonight, like I've received so much hate already for an interview that nobody has even seen.
Clarify. I think I am a moderator, but I don't think I'm going to not. I think because if I see people going in for you, I have to stop myself, Adam, and I don't really want to fight with anybody.
I don't want you to. No,
I know. It bothers me. It's like you are a respectful interviewer, and of course you understand you're going to get backlash. There's going to be people, but it's not fair to say that her stepdad's not relevant because if that was stepdad for 30 years, he's more than relevant. And I don't know why people were thinking it wasn't her mom. That doesn't make any sense.
I actually had somebody who's been, it was so disappointing to me because I've had somebody who has been a longtime subscriber. I really we've had conversations on social media and such a big supporter. And this person went on and started commenting all over my interview saying, Adam got shammed and, this is not the real mom. And, going on this whole thing and like, haha, Adam, you got again, saying that Fallon got you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, why do you think this is not her real mom. I was in the house. There's photos of them everywhere. They have a book, a legacy book that they're sending to me or they sent to me yesterday. I cannot wait to share with you guys, but it has the family history. That was her mom. And then when Mary confirmed it on the Twitter interview and she said, yeah, that's my mom. I was like, boom, mic drop, leave me alone. I'm telling you, like if they are the two probably most relevant people to speak to understand where Mary came from and somebody else came for me a little bit and was saying, stop, you're riding with this person trying to say she's a victim. And I said, that's not what he's saying. Give the interview a chance. But listen, we need to understand I'm holding judgment because came in because I was morally judging Erika. Well, guess what? What is everybody else? They're morally judging Mary. Until you bring criminal charges up, then we can talk about that. But let's find out where she came from. Let's find out how she got to where she's at. And then maybe. And that's the thing too, to be fair, it was the same thing with the Fallon interview. I just want to say this. If you guys are looking for somebody to spew out nonsense or, not have any credibility, unfairness, those channels exist. I can name a few. I don't need to, but you guys can go find them. And also if you want somebody to do an interview where they're not going to have integrity and they're going to rip into something and try to paint this salacious narrative, that way it gets extra clicks and views. Yeah, for clickbait. If you guys want that too, you want that kind of interview, it's not going to be me. Those other channels exist. Some of them are great. Some of them are questionable, but they do exist, so you can find them very easily. It's just your 100,000 subscribers confirm Adam, and everybody that continues to follow you, support you. We love you. We say it all the time. Like your subscribers, your friends, your family, take care of it. Trust me. Like we get in and we ask and we stick up for you, and like we go in and it's like it's not like you don't have receipts. You're literally your interviews say it all. You're not disrespectful. And like I said, like you interview, like, you're supposed to. You're not going to keep getting these interviews if you're going to do clickbait shit. Right. You know what I mean? If you're like me and you want to go on Jen HWY every 5 minutes, like I guarantee I'll never get Jen HWY on my channel. I'll just be like a bottom feeder over here. But like, no, but serious, like you're more than fair. And that's why I said, and we're going to like this week is super crazy, but I know we started today's hot takes on Jason's and it used to be hot, messy topics, but I had to make the conscious decision to take hot, messy topics off of my channel just because we were getting very kind of opinionated which is fine, but it will limit what kind of interviews and my relationship with PR from different networks. So I wanted to kind of move that over to Jason's channel, which again, we will be picking up and keep my channel a little bit more clean. I do want to address this really quick. Susie said, I was low-key looking for Adam and Jason last time I was in Florida. That's actually really funny. Guys, I didn't realize, and this is just a funny story. When I got to Salt Lake City, I realized that we have some up and Adams. Like the Adams family lives in Salt Lake City. It was hilarious to me. I got off of my flight in Salt Lake and I got to my hotel. And when I walked in, the woman said, can I see your ID and check in? I said, okay. I gave her my ID and she goes, are you on YouTube? And I was like, yeah, do you watch? And she's like, oh my gosh, yeah. What are you doing in town? And I was like, nothing. And like, I'm not doing anything. And then I got in my Uber to go meet Meredith the next night. I was going out to meet her for drinks. And when I did, the Uber driver, he said that he used to be a snowboarder, but he's like, yeah, man, I used to be a snowboarder, but I hurt myself. So now I just do this full time. And I said, well, that's awesome. He said, yeah, man, I think I'm going to take my wife to Disney World because now I drive Uber so I can work from there too. And I said, yeah, and maybe you have some good write-offs. I don't know what the taxes are like for, being an Uber driver. I said, I even wonder, about taxes for people who do entertainment or YouTube, and I was just talking to him about it. And I said, like, for me, I do YouTube. And he said, wait, you do YouTube? And he turned around and he said, what is your channel called? And I said, Up and Adam. He said, you do interviews and like talk about Bravo. I said, yeah. He said, no offense, man, but I always thought you look so weird. I'm like, I don't know if you think that's a compliment, but that's kind of a bitchy thing to say, but I'll take it. You've seen the
Was he being a bitch? Like, what was his deal? Why?
No, he was kind of funny about it. He's like, no offense, bro. I just always thought you look so weird. And I'm like,
well, I mean, like,
have you hit the pipe? Like, is that what happened?
Do you know who I am? Do you
know? No, but I always, it's not.
No, I remember you saying a story like somebody. It would probably freak me out though if somebody ran up to me real fast and was like, hey, and like, but you forget you're on. How many people subscribe to you?
Well, even I noticed
scares you a little bit after the Lady Gaga thing with the dogs and stuff. You just never know.
No, it's nothing like that. But even
you never know.
When I went out, I was telling Jason yesterday when we were talking, because we went out for lunch trying to like figure out this week. Crazy guys, again, 500 in the room. Don't forget to smash that like button. But we were talking about my trip, and I was just kind of catching Jason up on everything because I didn't get to go through all of the details, and we've been so busy. So I was showing him photos that I haven't shown him, and I was telling him, some of the things that I talked about with Meredith, which I won't share in here, but some of the things that we talked about. And when I was sitting there talking to Meredith, the second night we were sitting at the bar, and this girl came up and she got so excited and she said, "Oh my God, you're Meredith," and said, "Can I take a photo with you?" And then she took a photo, but then it reminded me of working at the Lisa Vanderpump restaurants where it became this effect where now one person is walking up to her. So other people in the restaurant are wondering, "What are you doing?" And then it kind of clicks. And then it just became like this revolving door of people walking up to her. And I was like, I could never do that, especially in a pandemic, because they were grabbing her and like trying to like hug her. And,
does she have security?
Getting in your, I don't think that, like,
I mean, no, see, I'd be at this point, I would think like they probably should need it because that can ruin your whole night. You guys are not even having a business meeting. You're having a friend's get together and like, it's one or two people come up and say hi, but when it becomes like a gang or what's it called, like a gang mentality where like it doesn't end. How do you end it? Because you don't want to tell everybody these people yes and then these people no.
Yeah,
but you need some type of buffer.
For at least like I know that at least like when Jason was working at Pump and running it, when he knew that Lisa was coming in, he would make sure that she was in kind of like an area where people could come up and say hi, but it wasn't like invasive. She was kind of closed off, so you couldn't really get to it. And I don't think that any of the housewives really need security, but I think it's just kind of that being aware and conscious. But also people do get excited. They're fans of hers and the show. And I'm sure as she continues to be on upcoming seasons, if she is on the next season, we'll have to wait and see. But I'm sure that it will build just like any of the other housewives. I'm sure when Nene Leakes goes out, people hound her. I'm sure when Bethany Frankel goes out.
Yeah, I was just thinking down here too, like they actually do have to call the paparazzi, like when they're filming, like they actually call the paparazzi to come around, like Melissa Gorgon and all. But like I said, they're pretty respectful to the housewives around here. They don't do that. And like we've been on for a really long time, Jersey, so they're used to it. But I can see Salt Lake being new. Like I would be so fan too. I'd be like a super fan trying to stop myself too.
Yeah.
Like I would be,
Mandy said, "Congrats on your interview with Mary. You're always number one to all of us. Can't wait to watch." Oh, thank you, Mandy, for the super chat.
I told you, like we pretty much take care of those people. There's trolls, but I know like your mods are pretty good, so I'll be good. I'll be in the chat, but I'll be good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys. You guys are all sweet. Thank you, Adam. There's always somebody that sees the negativity in everything and can't wait to share it. But there's a lot more people who love and support you. Just do you and thank you guys. Thank you. All right.
I said, like, I would never think like I see you. It's like I look at you for nothing, no pressure. But like, I always say like, thank you so much. Like I thank you guys constantly just for even allowing my like crazy ass to even come on here live, because without like your support, like it means a lot. It really does. But like, I probably wouldn't keep doing this. Like I was saying to Jordan, this kind of broke me last week. Like I had to take a step back and like watch what I like figure out, I didn't understand algorithms. I had to clear them out. I didn't understand things like that. I didn't understand Canva. So I jumped in quickly and then realized quickly.
But that's also, to be fair, and Shan's in the chat right now.
She's amazing.
Shan has been here legitimately from day one. Shan's amazing. And she's always been so supportive. But from the time that I started, at first, I didn't know what kind of content to put out. I said, guys, I'm going to commit to three or four shows a week. And then, Jason was telling me, he's like, Adam, that's a lot of shows. 4 shows a week is a lot. Don't overdo it. And now I feel like we're doing like 5, 6, 7 a day.
I know. So I said to Anique, like, she just got caught up on Southern Charm with me from just, I guess I like begged her to do it. And because then Summer House is coming. And then she's like, this is a lot of shows that we were going to talk about. I was like, I know, I got it. You're a couple, like Shan, hi Shan, like literally a couple of your, like obviously your subs that came over mine, they have been amazing. We'll spend 24 hours just talking to me. Don't have to. brought me off the ledge. Like, they're amazing.
Legitimately, I love this community, and I love whoever named it the Addams Family. I'm all here for. By the way, I did want to say really quick, I know that we're going live at 12 p.m. With Jason to talk about the Vanderpump Rules finale, but Jason and Grace Report are also doing another Vanderpump Rules related live today. Shan, I know that you're in here. If you don't mind just letting everybody know what time that is and where they can find you. That way we can send love over to Shan's channel as well. Krista, we are a little over an hour in. I think I'm going to go get our questions ready for Tamra, and then I have to do a couple more things for the interview drop today. But thank you so much for joining me and carrying the conversation with me.
I know. I'm always like, Jason, because I know that I know that you are running, and Jason's like, I gotta go get Adam ready. I'm like, tell him this, tell him that, tell him I love him, and tell him have a good trip, tell him have this, tell him that.
He literally came in here before this, and he's like, your lighting is off, your camera is not leveled out. Like he said, and turn your sign. And I'm like, he's like, your sign's not on, and your mic is not plugged in. I was like, but
I know.
I think I get so
I get excited. Don't you get excited?
I get excited and I miss some steps because I'm constantly I'm just in the moment and excited. Whereas Jason is more technical and organized, and it's such a good balance. Like in life and in business, it's so good to have.
Best advice was that he's like, figure out Canva. He's like, just figure. He's like, master it, and he's like, do that first. And he was so right. Like he really was. Like it was a huge difference. So
yeah.
But I find myself like I tried to turn it off when I'm not, say, in the studio and like I'm with my husband and we're doing other things, but I was finding myself thinking about stuff at times where I shouldn't be, and I'm like, no, focus. I was like, I wonder if this happens to Adam.
No, it does. My attention span, I'm like, what is this going on? Squirrel. Like that's my attention span.
Butterfly syndrome. Oops.
Yeah.
Or I'll start, like my phone will start lighting up. I'm like, oh my God, somebody got fired. Something happened. My phone, my devices are going nuts. And I see my husband's face like, don't you dare. Don't pick it up. Gosh. You're going to get sucked in.
I do the exact same thing. It's but all right, Krista. Well, again, thank you so much for jumping on. Krista, in case people don't know where they can find you, can you let us know?
I am here on YouTube at The Unpopular Opinion with Krista Marie Miller, because if I don't put that, then my, whatever it's called, my domain is not whatever. Whoever decide to point that out. Anyway, and I am on Instagram with the same name, but I haven't put my memes out. But if you look at my ones from last year, they kind of apply to Erika and Scheana. They're pretty freaking funny. I just wish I could post them on the community tab. I don't have enough subscribers yet, but they're freaking funny.
It'll happen.
I know. Okay. I got to go check your community tab so I can figure out what you're doing today.
All right, Krista, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And thank you.
I love you guys.
And I'll see you soon. This is going to be a long day.
Probably in like an hour or like sooner. I don't know what time it is, but soon, I'm sure.
An hour and 20 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
See you guys. Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you so much to all of our super chats, super stickers. Thank you to our mods. And hopefully our mods will be in the live today. If you guys are around at 3:30 p.m. Eastern when I do my live with Tamra, I would love for you guys to help us control that chat. I don't really want any hateful comments because she's coming on. I think it's so sweet of her to be a guest on our channel and give us the content. Come on and have a great conversation to entertain us and get some answers. Not like anything. I'm not diving into her life, but just some fun cotton candy Bravo stuff. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. I've always wanted to talk with Tamra, but same thing. If you guys are around for the full interview tonight and you can help us mod, please, we would really appreciate it. And don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And don't forget to hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. I will see you guys in an hour and 20 minutes. I pinned it at the top of this live chat. It's at 12 p.m. going live on Jason's channel to do Vanderpump Rules. And I got to talk about this finale because there was some stuff in this finale. And I didn't agree. With the Lala James bombshell. I didn't. But we'll talk about it. So I'll see you guys soon. Love you guys. Bye.